Hi everyone, I'm just going to quickly introduce myself for those who don't know me. I am a single mom of 6. I adopted 5 of my nieces and nephews and I birthed my youngest. I'm just going to wait for a couple people to get on here. I don't really do this live thing, but I just wanted to like chat with you guys and answer any of you guys' questions because there's a lot of things being misunderstood when it comes to my kids' adoption story. So I just wanted to give everyone an opportunity to ask questions respectfully, and I will answer any questions that you guys may have. So I'll just wait to see how many people we get on here. If you guys don't mind, just comment hello so that I can. Hi, good morning. Hi, Annie Denise. Hi, how are you? I'm glad this is working. Good. Let's get a couple more people in here. I don't know if you guys are able to bring more people in. Hi, Bronx. How are you? Thank you, guys. So that's 2 people in here that said hello. I think I know who's the 3rd person. I don't know if you guys are allowed to bring more people in or if that's a thing. Again, I'm not used to going on live here on YouTube. Fabulous. Awesome, Bronx. Awesome. Why does she keep having... See, like, okay, so I have a video, one of my shorts that's going pretty viral, and there's a lot of mostly positive comments, and there's a lot of negative comments, quite a few. Just people, I guess, not really understanding or really knowing all the facts and what really goes into it. You know who the 3rd person is. Yes, honeybee. Yes, I knew it was you. So that's why I'm like, let me just go on live, see, you know, if anyone has any questions so I can just like clarify. And I know I don't have to, but I don't mind. I'm a talker. I love talking. I love being transparent. I love sharing my stories. And you are an awesome mom. Thank you, Annie. Thank you. Is it a thing to like pull more people in? How can we pull more people into this live? I don't know if something you guys can share. I'm not sure how it works, but if someone can let me know. Hi, Mike. How are you? I should have been prepared. I'm just sitting in my car. I should have been prepared and had a list of the comments that people have been leaving on that one specific short video. But all right, so one of the comments in that short video that I can remember is someone saying or assuming or thinking, living the dream, assuming or thinking that my sister lost her kids, you know, because she chose drugs over her own children. And I'm here to clarify that. I never said that that's what happens. My sister did not lose her children because she chose drugs over her children, you know? The reason my sister doesn't have her kids is because of her diagnosis, okay? My sister was born delayed, and she has other diagnoses that doesn't allow her to make the right decisions. You know what I mean? Since a young age, you know, I grew up with her. I lived my entire life looking after her up until the age I was 13. That's a whole nother story. But it was never her choice, you know, like it was never her choice. So how did drugs come into play? All right, so let me see if I can make this long story short. My mother kicked me, again, another whole different story for another time. My mom kicked me out of the house when I was 13. She kicked me out and my brother out. So I was 13, my brother was like 14, okay? The only person that was left behind was my sister, my kid's bio mom, because someone has to watch her. Someone has to be on her 24/7, you know? So my mom stayed with her. My mom did really good watching over her, you know, keeping her inside the house, keeping her safe, keeping her medicated and all of that. So at some time from when I wasn't living with my mom, something happened where someone was bothering my sister, something like that. That's the story I was told. So my mom, she's very Dominican, very crazy, okay? You don't mess with my mom's kids back then. So my mom ended up fighting the person who was bothering my sister. I guess their family members or their mother, I'm not sure who it was. So my mom ended up fighting this person in the back of the building, in the backyard. And from my mom's story, my mom said she picked up this person, slammed on the floor, and there was a lot of glass back there, and the person split her lips open. The person's story was that my mom had a knife and cut her lip open, whatever. After that, my mom went to jail for a year. My mom lost everything. She lost everything, the apartment, our old pictures, furniture, everything, okay? I was already not living there. So my sister ended up coming to live where I was staying, which is an older sister of ours. Since my mom was no longer there to take care of, well, that's wild, I know. Since my mom was no longer there to take care of my sister, like, you know, how she should be taken care of, to make the long story short, the streets took over. My older sister that we moved in with, that we were living with, tried her best, you know, but it just wasn't enough. And the system, the government didn't do enough either, you know. I was young. What can I do? I was going through my own stuff. I was a wild, lost adolescence. No mom, no dad. You know what I mean? Because from being with my sister, I ended up in regular foster care. My sister couldn't even with me either. I was just out there, you know. I was fighting, not going to school, being disrespectful, having boyfriends. So I ended up in a regular foster home. So at that point, I didn't live with my sister anymore. So basically, the streets took over, and that's when my sister started doing things in the streets. She became street smart, you know. That's how it happened. I'm trying to remember when she had her first daughter. And then the men my sister picked, they're no good either. They are no good either, okay? So when my sister had her first child, I believe I was 17. I must have been 16, 17. So my sister was like, I think 19, you know? At 19, where was my sister? She was out there, you know, making decisions and choices that are not safe for her. So if the system sees that she's not making good decisions for herself, they're not going to let her keep a child, you know. They see her wild out there. Basically, my sister never really had a chance. Like, her mental doesn't allow her to make good choices. And it's so not fair for people to sit here and judge her and for people to comment the things that they're commenting. Like, oh, how can she have chosen this? Oh, she should have been sterile. We tried. Let me tell you, we tried to get her to take birth control. The government allows or likes to give people with these diagnoses the chance the chance for them to make their own choices. They don't obligate them to do anything they don't want to. So mind you, we're talking about somebody that really doesn't process things the way we do. So we sitting here telling her to get birth control. She doesn't want to put nothing in her body. You are doing a great job with the kids. God bless you. Thank you. I really appreciate that. You know, every time was no, no, no. And then every time a kid was taken away, in a very childlike voice, she would always say, oh, I don't care. I'm gonna keep having one until I can keep one, you know. But she doesn't understand, like, you're not going to keep one. You know, there was a time where they said, you know, if you go home with a nurse and you let a nurse live with you, you can take this child with you. My sister doesn't, and she fought that. She said, no, I don't want no one living in my house, da, 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 da. You know, so it's like, it was never fair. She never really had a chance, you know? That's just really what it is. I feel like my kids' story, like our story, because it's not just my kids, it's mine. That's my sister. It's her story too. When I'm vlogging and you guys see my sister in the camera, she knows I'm vlogging. She knows what I'm doing. She knows I'm like this. I'm not hiding it, you know? She knows I'm recording her. She may not understand, like, the whole concept behind it, like I said, she understands certain things. And that's why y'all don't see me vlogging my sister all the time. I don't even see her all the time. I try to keep like my separate relationship because of her life choices and the way she chooses to live, you know. But I just don't think it's fair that you guys are on here judging and saying all these negative things when you guys don't know the full scope, you know. Like, and I get it, I'm putting my business out there, everyone has entitlement to their own opinion, which is fine. I'm just deleting all the negative comments. I don't care. I have really thick skin. There's not much it bothers me when it comes to my sister. I'm gonna be honest, that's my sister and I love her. It's like I'm protecting her. Like, don't talk about my sister, you know? But I just delete them and I keep it moving. I sat down and I spoke to my kids yesterday because I'm getting all these comments. And I told them, I'm like, does having your story on basically for the world to see, does it bother you guys in any way? And they said no. They said no. It doesn't bother them. I wouldn't do anything against my kids' will. You know what I mean? I do what I do to educate people. I do what I do to connect with people. I do what I do to bring awareness, to show love, to, you know what I mean? Like, I've always been like that my whole life, just very talkative, like talking about, and this is my outlet too. This is how I let go of a lot of things, you know? Children need dignity and privacy. Why people see all these comments that I'm getting is just like, I get it. Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. I'm living my life how I want to live my life. If you guys want to be private and hide your kids away and blur their face, that's your choice. We are making choices based on how we want to make choices. Again, my kids are fine with being in a camera. They're fine with being on the internet. You know, like, I just wish people just was positive. You know, like, if you don't like what I do, keep going. Go somewhere else. Go see a different content. I don't know. You are sweet as milagros. So that's that. I think that I kind of just ranted a little. Once I start talking, I can't stop. But let me see something else. Oh, the comments about why not tie her tubes. Like I said, you couldn't get her to do anything. Okay. She did not choose drugs over her children. My sister loves her children. She kicked and screamed for every single one of her children. She loves them. Okay. She may not understand, but she has a heart and she loves her kids. What else? The whole thing with blurring. Oh, why you got the kids out there? You should blur them. My kids are fine. Thank you for your concern, but my kids are fine. They know what's going on. We're all in this together, you know. I was just watching your shorts. You are here. Well, thank you. I'm not doing this for a donation. You don't see me asking for a donation. You don't see me asking for money. No, that's not why I'm doing this. You know what I mean? I'm doing this because I just love to do this. And let me tell you guys something, right? Before I started doing my YouTube, because I'm also on TikTok, I was so depressed. I was single, pregnant with 5 kids. I was depressed. And it was like right in the beginning of the pandemic. And I couldn't get myself out of bed. And I was doing what many of you guys do. Watching other people that inspire you, that lifts you up, that gives you that motivation to get up out of bed. You know what I mean? And I became friends with one of those people. It's Christy. Let me see if I can pronounce her last name. Oh my God, the last name. Christy. She's gonna kill me. I forgot her last name. Christy Gior. I followed her. We became friends, and she said, why don't you just start vlogging? Just get up, vlog, you know, let that be your motivation. Get up and vlog. I don't know if she remembers telling me that, but she was my motivation to becoming an influencer. And that got me out of my dark place. Good morning. That got me out of my dark place, and it became an outlet. I talk about my anxiety. I talk about my depression. I talk about, you know, when I was in foster care. I talk about my kids. I talk about everything. I'm just an open book. I'm transparent. I like to spread the light. I like to spread the love. I like to motivate the next person who's laying up in bed that's depressed to get up. Start by making your bed. Open up them blinds. Let that sun in. Let the sun call you up. Let it recharge you. You know, like, now I'm that person. And I just love it. So someone says something. I can't see the comments anymore. Oh, your story will always inspire others. It's real life situation. Not many are open as... See, like, that's what I get. Not a lot of people are open. Like, if you're not open, that's fine. But don't beat down the people who are open, you know? They have all these negative things to say, but you're watching me. You're watching my content. Something brought you in, you know? Just know that what I do, it's always in love and in light. Not to put anybody down or gain from anybody being down, because I share all the times I'm down and I'm depressed, you know? And for the shorts, guys, I make shorts, but those shorts are connected to the whole video, which is on my YouTube channel. Go watch the rest and gain that knowledge before judging me and before commenting something negative. But you know what? I told my kids, and I was telling them about the negative comments. I'm like, let me tell you guys something. It doesn't matter what you do in life. There's always going to be that one person that has something negative to say. I told them, take that in and let it draw you to lift you up, to be better, to show out. Don't ever let what anybody has to say bring you down or determine who you are. Or, you get what I'm saying? Like, no. Someone's always going to have something to say. It's life. Especially when you're an influencer or you're on social media. It comes with the job, you know? Nothing to be ashamed of. You are helping your kids. I am not ashamed. See, one thing about what I'm doing, I'm not ashamed. I'm not even ashamed of where I come from and how I made it out. You know, I come from the foster care system. My parents, my support system was my DCF workers, the programs I was in an independent classes. They taught me how to pay my bills, you know, how to prioritize. The system paid for my college. They paid for my apartment for several years and my bills. And I still had a job. I still had 2 jobs. I went to college. They did all that. But the rest was me. I had that drive. I took myself to school. I did the homework. I worked. I stayed out of trouble. I made good choices. Like, I give myself a lot of credit. I give myself a lot of credit for making it out. Because a lot of people don't make it out. Listen, and I'm going to tell you guys something. I had a 17-year-old email me, okay? A 17-year-old from Illinois, telling me her life story and thanking me and telling me how I'm her inspiration. This is why I do what I do, for those who question. This is why I do what I do, because there's someone out there that's gonna look up to me and say, if she did it, I can do it. If I did it, you can do it. You can be in the foster care system. You can be in a hole. You can be in a dark place, and you can get yourself out. And I'm not just saying that because I am where I am today. I'm saying that because I was you before. I was you before. I was in a dark place. I was in the foster care system. I had no mother. My mother was in jail. My father never been there. Family not looking for me. How am I in the foster care system? Have a big family my father's side. Have a big family my mother's side. Is no one coming to save me. No one came to get me. No one. And I made it out. If I can do it, you guys can do it. You just need that drive. You need faith. You need to have your own personal relationship with God. You know? So send this. I want you guys to send this live. I'm going to save it. Send this live to anybody. And I know everybody's... Not a lot of people like the children's services. And, you know, not everybody's story is positive. Not everybody's story is positive. But let me tell you guys something. The system works. In some story, it works. I was lucky enough where I went to a good foster home. Had a great foster mother, and that's still my mom. I call her mom. She's still helping me till this day. That's my mother, besides my birth mother. You know what I mean? Like, the system works. The system works. You just need, not only do you need that social worker that really cares, but you have to care too. You know how many times I've gotten workers that have told me, don't do that, you can't do that, don't do that, you can't do that. When someone tells me I can't do something, you know what that makes me do? makes me want to do it 10 times even more. But that's my personality. You need to have that in you, in yourself, that drive to want to make it out. Because if you don't have that drive and you lack it, you're just going to sit back and you're going to let every door is going to close and you're going to let that happen. You don't have the drive. Kick that door open. You need to have that drive and you need to kick that door open. You need to be hungry. I was always in survival mode, always hungry. I was like a sponge. Taking from this person, taking from just like knowledge and knowledge. Like I took all that in. Yes, I do have a good relationship with my foster mom. Listen, going into foster care saved my life. Saved my life, because God knows where I would have been if that would have never happened. Would have been, I mean, I still have 6 kids, but I probably would have gotten pregnant by different guys. I probably would have been in jail or in a gang member, like in part of a gang. That's the path I would have taken. I think I definitely would have been in jail over a fight, because back then I was fighting a lot and I had a lot of beef out there. Okay, I had so much beef out there that by the time my sister, she actually called my worker on me because I wasn't coming home. Something like that. I wasn't listening. She called my worker on me because my sister and my older sister became my foster mom, you know? So technically, as soon as my mom kicked me out, my sister became my foster mom. I went to her. But my social worker came to me and said, listen, if you don't listen to your sister, we're going to take you away. Listen. I heard that. I said, I'm packing my bags, take me. And I could have been anywhere. I could have went to a group home. I could have been in freaking Ohio. God knows where I would have ended up. But I knew all the problems I was in. I knew all the girls that wanted to like jump me. I packed my bags and I left. That was God. That was God. That was my angel watching over me. That was my grandmother. My grandmother's my angel. Let her rest in peace. Taking me out of that situation. Okay. And I went with my social worker and he put me in a foster home. My very first foster home, this very nice old lady. She had 2 other girls that's 7 years old, I think. And I stayed there for a couple of weeks. He came back and he said, do you like it here? Do you want to stay? I said no. I'm like 14, 15. That's crazy that I'm sitting here making those choices and those decisions. Like, no, I don't like it here. Take me. Like, I don't even know where I'm gonna end up. Like, looking back, that's crazy of me. Like, that's pretty, like, either brave or crazy. I don't know. He said, do you like it here? I said no. You know? So he took me out of there and I went into my second foster home, which is, you know, my mom now. And stood there. As soon as I got there, I loved it. I loved it. I knew that was gonna be my home. There was other girls there my age, and stood there for a couple of weeks. My social worker came back and said, do you like it here? And I said yes. And I stayed there. And that's when my whole entire life changed. I changed. My personality changed. Having goals, the way I talked, the way I carried myself, my vocabulary, everything changed. Okay. So I have that good story when it comes to, I felt it. That's just crazy. I think I always had that gift where I can just feel things and sense things and know what's better. And you know what I mean? Even though I made wrong choices back in the past, but I always came out like, okay, you know? So yeah, that's just my little quick story. Like, you can make it. You can make it. You can make good choices for yourself. And if you have a worker that don't listen, talk to someone else. Listen, I'm the type of person that I go above. I'm not getting through to you. Who's higher than you? I'm not getting through to you. Who's higher than you? I'm going to keep going until somebody hears me. Okay? Let me tell you guys something about my sister. I've wanted her kids since she had the first one. Mind you, I must have been like 16, 17. I wanted the first one. I remember that like it was yesterday. They took her daughter away, and I was just crying and crying and crying. I won't tell you guys what else I did, but I was just like crying. I was like losing it. You know, like I wanted all of them. But I couldn't. I was young. I was still in the system myself, you know? Her second one, same thing. I wanted that one, but I was in the system myself. Third one, same thing. I wanted that one. But I think for the third one, I was in college. I had my own apartment, but I was still in the system. And I brought it up to my social worker and I was like, I want to take, my sister's kid. They always talked me out of it. Always, always, always. With the third one that I can remember. No, Juana, no. You're in college. That's not a good idea. You're single. It's going to ruin your life. It's a big change. Don't do it. And it pushed me back like, yeah, maybe you're right. Okay. But God works in mysterious ways. That's fine. Everything played out the way it's supposed to. I don't regret anything, Then the fourth one, right? Yeah, the fourth one came out. My sister had her fourth child. Again, I wanted the fourth one too. But my social worker, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not a good idea. You're in college. You're almost done. Don't do it. It's going to change your life. I listened. I'm like, okay. So by the time I aged out of the system and I had 2 jobs and I was paying my own bills and I was done with college and yada, 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 my sister had her 5th one. If I'm counting right, she had her 5th one. I'm done with the system. I'm out. I aged out. There was no one to tell me no. Even though they were telling me no. There was still some people telling me don't do it, Even when I called them and told them I want to be what is the word? There's a word for it. Like I want to be somebody to take in my sister's kid. Like I'm interested, They told me the same thing. Don't do it. You're too young. You just got out of college. You just got out the system. You can say hi, Ashley. They try to talk me out of it again. I said no. I'm taking this one. You guys can't tell me anything. I'm done. Like I'm financially stable. I have my own place. I got myself ready and I fought and I fought and I fought. So when my sister had her 5th child, since I wasn't ready yet, that child went to a regular foster home for 3 months because it took me 3 months to get ready between classes and getting clothes and getting the crib and getting everything that I needed to get done. It took me 3 months. So for 3 months, she was in a different home. But I did it. Okay? Those 3 months, I did it. I got my baby. The foster family she was with dropped her off. I remember it like it was yesterday. It makes me want to cry. Dropped her off in my living room. I was so scared. Let me tell you guys, I was so scared. I couldn't believe that I did it. So like they dropped her off and she left. So she stood like in the car seat for like 10-15 minutes because I didn't know what to do. I was just staring at her and she has these big bugged eyes and she has these fat cheeks, like so pretty. And I was just there staring at her like, I'm a mom. I am a mom now. And she's just looking at me with these big eyes and I'm like, what am I supposed to do now? Take her out of the car seat? I was just terrified, but it left like quick. Like as soon as I picked her up and I hugged her and kissed her, I was just like so happy, like my motherly, like instinct like quickly came and I was just like, oh my God. But after her, the rest came easy. Like the rest I picked up straight out of the hospital, And I'm just so glad. I'm glad that that's how it played out. I don't regret anything. I don't regret, because I gave up a lot of myself. I did, like the dreams and things that I wanted to do in the past before I had my kids, like I gave up a lot. And a parent, that's what they do. They give up a lot of themselves because once you have a kid, it's about your kid, I don't regret it. I will never regret it. I don't care how crazy they drive me. Trust me, my kids drive me crazy. I don't care how crazy they drive me. I don't care what we go through. As long as we go through it together and we have each other, that's all that matters. That's all that matters. These kids gave me a different meaning to life. I see things differently. I take in things differently. Like I'm more grateful and they gave me purpose. They gave me purpose. And I'm living my fate. I honestly believe like I'm living my fate. Like this is what I'm in this world for. This is what I was put in this world for, to keep my family together. Not only keep my family together, but to spread love and spread my light, And I'm just learning now how to do it in a way where it's positive to me because it can become draining. The way I used to do it before story, but just sharing it with you guys, sharing my light with you guys is just the way to go, and this is why I'm here. And I just want to thank God and all in the universe, because I'm such a universe and a nature person, you know, like I just, all of the higher power, like I just want to thank them for this and for giving me strength and for giving me my kids. All right, guys. Well, I gotta go because I gotta go grocery shopping for my house. You did. Your kid are beautiful. Thank you, Denise. But yeah, this is it. I'll save this live, so it'll be up here. Hopefully people will see it. I don't know. I'm sure I will still get the negative comments. I've been thinking about shutting down the comments. I'm not sure, but I don't know. But I'm gonna go. Thank you, Avery. Thank you. I appreciate it. I'm gonna go, guys. And just remember, be kind, be kind, be kind. I like to tell everyone to be kind, spread love. Even in the smallest way, spread love, be kind, because you never know what anyone is going through. Just be kind of your head. Thank you. Okay, just be kind, be kind, be kind to one another. Stop judging. If you're miserable, keep your misery to yourself. Have a great weekend. You too. All right, guys, but I gotta go. I got errands to do. I love you guys. I love you guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you for supporting me. Don't forget to subscribe if you're new here. Bye.